back to my channel. I am Abbie Herbert and this is my personal YouTube channel. I'm having so much fun with this channel. I really love doing makeup reviews and showing you how I do my hair, and literally, like I said, it's like my IG stories just in like 10-minute videos basically. And I asked you guys what you wanted to see on this channel, and I got a lot of requests on how I started modeling, how I got into the industry, and if I could give some tips or advice on how to get started into modeling. So I thought I would sit down, do a little story time on how I started modeling, and give the best advice that I can. And I don't want to talk too much in this intro. I think it's time to just get started and tell you how I got into the modeling industry. All right, so this story starts many years ago. So I was a freshman in high school and I did sports my entire life. I was naturally very thin and tall. So like I always got like, you should get into modeling, you should get into modeling. But I was like, no, sports, I love sports. And then I had a back injury. I injured my back. That's like a whole story time in itself, but let's just say I was like in a full body cast from my neck to my legs, and then I had this thing around my leg. I was a freshman in high school and had to wear this cast outside of my clothes. Once again, that could be a story time for itself, but I had to stop all sports, and I was like, what the heck am I gonna do with my life? I knew I always wanted to get into modeling. I actually found this note that I wrote when I think I was in fifth grade when I wrote this note, and I was like, I want to be a model when I grow up, or in the fashion industry. So I always had it in me, but throughout my high school career, I just wanted to do sports. And then the injury happened. So I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? And that's why I went to my mom and was like, hey, I would like to try to get into modeling. At the time, I had a boyfriend at another school, and his mom knew of a girl there that was signed with this modeling agency in Pittsburgh. And she was like, reach out to them. She's working, she's doing really well for herself, and you should reach out to them. So that's exactly what we did. I'm from a small town in Ohio, and this agency was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was about an hour drive from our small town, but that's like the nearest city. So it's called Doherty Agency. My mom just looked them up online, and they had a submissions process online. So she just went to www.dohertytalentagency.com, went to submissions process. Pretty much every agency has an online submission, especially nowadays. So they just required to send in pictures. And at the time we had no professional pictures. So my mom just actually sent in pictures of like my dances and just kind of like close up, full body. And then they were like, all right, we'll get back to you if we're interested. And that was that. I remember like a week went by and was just waiting to hear back. And I don't know why I remember this. I remember being in Walmart and my mom getting an email being like, hey, we're interested in you, come to our open call. And I was like, what the heck? Really excited. So I was invited to go to their open call. Now, if you were like, Abbie, what the heck is an open call? So most agencies have these things called open calls where it's either once a month or once every couple months, a specific day where they open up their doors for you to come in and audition, and they take pictures of you, measure you to see if they're interested. We did the online submission before we went to the open call, and they invited us to the open call. So I knew they were somewhat interested, so that made me feel a little bit better. So we went to that open call that month. I remember being so nervous. My mom printed out like just the pictures from Walmart, like kiosk, and we brought pictures. And in the open call, there was a ton of people there. We just waited. You put your name in, you get a number. And for this open call, we went into the room. They checked my measurements. They did my heights. And there was someone there that just took pictures of us, like headshot, full length, and profile. And that was it. And they're like, okay, we'll get back to you and let you know if we're interested. And I would say a week or two went by, and they emailed my mom back and was like, hey, we would actually like to represent Abbie. And we were like, what the heck? This is weird. We had never experienced anything like this. We're like, okay, let's see. At the time I was 15, so my mom was involved in everything. So they're like, we want you to come to orientation, and that's when everyone from that open call that they decided to represent would sit in a room with the director of Doherty, and she'd give us the rundown, the contracts, and everything. So that's how that happened. Now remember, this is when I had my pencil thin eyebrows. I was maybe tanning twice a day. I don't even know how they saw something in me, but they saw something. And I remember going to orientation and the director of Doherty being like, don't touch your eyebrows and stop tanning. She's like, if you want to work and book jobs, don't touch your eyebrows, and stop tanning. And that's exactly what I did. And guys, being in high school when I had hair growing here and here in pale was devastating, but it was so worth it. So thank you to the director of Doherty for telling me to grow my eyebrows out, because I'm not joking. They were literally looked like someone went with a thin point pencil, went like little rainbows. If I can find a picture, I'll show you guys, but it was devastating. So my mom came to the orientation, we sat down, we signed the contracts, and this is a disclaimer, you should never, ever, ever pay to be part of an agency. A modeling agency should never take your money. If they're asking for money up front, something's not right. The only thing you should ever have to pay for is for professional photos. That is to build your book. That's to build your brand. There are photographers that do free of trade, but you most likely will have to pay for a photo shoot for yourself and for your brand. I look at paying for photo shoots, that is putting yourself out there to book clients. That's the only thing you should ever have to pay for. If an agency is like, hey, we need $2,000 from you up front to sign, nope, something's not right. You should never ever have to pay an agency. It's always just for your photo shoot to build your portfolio. So I did the photo shoot and it was super, super fun. I remember my mom being there and it was a fun experience. I was still so new, but you need to get out of your shell and just do the photo shoot. So that's exactly what we did. So that's how the talent agency can send you out to clients to book jobs. I don't remember how much it costs. I'd say typical test shoots can range from $150 to $500. It all depends on how many outfits you do, how many edited photos you want. It's all different, but I would say the max I've ever paid is $500 and the typical range is $150 to $250. It all depends. So now I had my photo shoot, I had my book, and I was just waiting to book a client. And I'm going to tell you guys, it can take time, especially if you are younger. If you're like 13, 14, clients are typically going to go with someone a little more mature, and we like to use the word green. If you're a brand new model, you're a green model. It's harder to use green models because they're not as experienced. So do not get discouraged. If you're a younger model and you just signed, it will take time to build clients. It doesn't just happen overnight. It took me almost a year to book my first print job when I signed with my agency. And my very first print job was with this magazine in Pittsburgh, and then they had this fashion show, and it was so insane. Here are the pictures. That was a really fun job, and I got to meet so many girls, and so many girls my age going through the same thing of like being in high school but modeling, and I don't know, it was an all-around cool experience. And then my second big job was with the wig company. Here are those pictures. So while you are waiting to book that first job, make sure you're just staying active, working on your posing and your faces, getting in front of a camera, have someone take digitals of you constantly. You want your digitals to be updated and to do as many test shoots as you can. Like I said, it can range in price. There are some free ones you can do, but yeah, you just want to stay super, super active in front of the camera. So that's how I got started. I injured my back and I was like, what the heck am I gonna do? And I found Doherty Agency and it all just went from there. So here are my tips if you're like, hey, Abbie, I wanna model, now what do I do? Now these are my first couple steps on how to get into the modeling industry. I would go to Google and type in closest modeling agencies to the city closest to you. So I was in a small town in Ohio, and the closest cities were Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Those are the biggest cities, and that's where I found a list of modeling agencies. I found Doherty, who I'm signed with, who I've been with this entire time, and there was a couple other ones, but Doherty was on the top of the list. So if you're on the outskirts of Chicago, type in Chicago modeling agencies and just literally go to every agency online and submit your photos. Most likely you will not need professional photos. All you have to do is take a digital. Here are some examples of digitals. All you have to do is to have little to no makeup, have your hair natural, wear either light jeans or dark jeans, white or black t-shirt, put on a pair of heels, and snap your photos. You want to do a headshot, a full length, profile, and some might ask for a video. So this is what you would do for the video. Hi, I'm Abbie Herbert. I'm 25 years old and 5'9". And then you're going to like pose to the front, turn to the side, and turn to the side. And that is it. So do not think that you need to rush out and get professional photos because it is not needed. Like I said, 99.9% of the time, an online submission, they just want digitals. They want to see you natural in you. So make sure you submit your digitals, have a nice white wall behind you or a clean background, good lighting. Natural lighting is the best, and that is all you need to do. Now, if you are willing to travel, LA is not my closest city, but I want to model in LA. Same thing, just type in Los Angeles modeling agencies. There are plenty of agencies in LA. So literally just go down the line, go on their website, look for their online submission process, and submit your photos, and I'm sure you will hear back from agencies. Now, if some agencies just have an email that say, hey, if you want to be scouted, email this, include the digitals, include your name, your age, your height, and your measurements. You want your chest, your waist, and your hips and height. And guys, that is how you get started in the modeling industry. And I highly recommend just being super active on social media. Nowadays, clients are booking off of social media and your social media presence. So staying active, keeping up to date, because they might see your submission and say, hey, let me go to her Instagram and see what she looks like. So you want your Instagram presence to be active. That is something I've experienced, and that's just a little tip I could give. And then if you do want to do those professional photos, once again, going on Instagram, looking at other girls in your area. And if you want to find good photographers on Instagram, go to those agencies' Instagrams and see who they've tagged and whose photographers they've worked with. And there you go. That's another good little tip to find photographers. So honestly, that's pretty much all I can say on how to get started in the industry. But that is how you can submit to modeling agencies. It's pretty easy and pretty simple. It's just you that has to do it. But this is my introduction to the modeling industry. I can do multiple videos. I've been in this industry for a while now, so anything you guys want to know or want me to answer next, make sure you ask in the comments below. But if you have any more questions, please ask them below. I can do another video on this. Like I said, I could talk for hours and hours about the modeling industry. So let me know if you have any more questions, and I hope this helped. Make sure you guys subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on post notifications to get notified when I post more videos on this channel. But what are you guys doing? Why are you still watching this? Go to Google right now, look up at the modeling agencies in your area, and start submitting. You got this. Bye.